All right, so I felt like a little late night excitement at the blackjack table. Late night, well, hardly, but later than usual. Yeah, I've been watching so much bad blackjack lately that I thought, you know what? I'm just going to remind myself the right way to do it. Um, and it's not that I think of myself as the greatest or any of that nonsense. It's oh bloody hell, flashy bugger up there. It's simply that there is a right way to do it and there's a wrong way to do it, and it's as simple as that. I mean, it's just ooh 1-2 now. Just enough. Back to the min. You got me there, didn't you, mate? 51. Oops. That would be 2-3, I guess. Yeah. Darn. How is it that 12s so often get 10s on top of them? 2-3, that's 5-6, isn't it? Sorry, I'm not actually asking a question. I'm talking to myself as usual. I think that's a double. Bugger! Oh, 11-6, drop 2-3. 8-6. Double. That worked. Back to the min. Always, always, always remember, go back to the minimum when you got your dosh. That's a repeat. Okay, 51. Repeat. On 1-2. That worked nicely. All right. Back to the minimum. Yeah, there's no leeway really in blackjack as to how you play. If play is defined as to what cards you call for and when you decide you don't want any cards, it's how you bet. That's the whole up and down of it. Um, Back to the minimum. I mean, DJ Dolt, for instance, he seems like a nice guy, but he's clueless. You got to chase those potential winning streaks, and you got to protect yourself. Is that 2-3? I guess it might be. Bugger, 5-6. You got to protect yourself when potentially you're in a really bad streak. Oh, that was a good save. If that had been a 10 before the 8, then we'd have been oopsed. Um, +1. Yeah, I mean, none of this is me stating an opinion. All I'm dealing with is facts. And anybody who's actually studied the game of blackjack will back me up. I think. Back to the men. There is a right way and there is a wrong way. Not just basic strategy. That's easy to sort out. But oh, and I was so excited. I thought, oh, 6, 7, 8, and then I forgot the ace there. Um, I think that's 51. Yeah. That's a repeat. For the push? No, a double for the push is what I meant to say. Beg your pardon. Oh, that was cheeky. Repeat. Another 22. Enough of that, if you please. All right, we're creeping up nicely. Repeat. I think this might be a soft shoe. Not sure though. That's for the push. Eh. 2-3, I think. Not sure that. Oops. Oh dear. Just went over the top there. Sorry. I screwed up, didn't I? I'm going to just bet 1,000. I messed up. Boy, that came out better than I deserved, I'll tell you. Damn. But as far as mistakes go, you know, we all make them. You'll make them. You just got to be ready to fix them. That was a little too dramatic, that last fix, but I think that was a repeat, wasn't it? I'm going to assume so. Double for the loss. Damn it. 1, 2. Double. Bloody hell. That's going to be 5, 6. 11, 6. Drop 2, 3. Bugger. Got a bust. Yeah. Okay, so that was, I think we're now on 5, 6. I think this is pretty good. You just have to have as much money as you can muster without taking ridiculous risks. You know, you can't keep pushing out huge amounts of money. But what you have to do is when there's a chance, and I mean, it's kind of difficult to articulate really because the mere fact that there's been a win doesn't improve the chances of there being a second win at all. You know, nothing that's gone before affects what's going to happen now and next. Or next is good enough, I guess, there. You know, every single bet faces a negative expectation. But we all know that plus runs and mean streaks exist. Call them winning streaks and losing streaks if you prefer. I just like to reduce the number of syllables. So plus and mean is what I say about them. You know, and we know they exist, and the point is to learn how to go with the flow and exploit the plus streaks without going completely bonkers. And in all these demos that I've put up, I don't think you see me going nuts. I'm not going nuts. What happened there? Did I lose that one? I think I did, didn't I? I lost track, that's for sure. Now let's repeat. That's good. Plus 1. Plus another one. Oh, look at this. Going plus mad. I like 22s. I'm very fond of dealer 22s. Plus max. Okie dokie. What did I just do wrong there? We've got to chase that. All right, now we're on 3-4. Oh dear. That solved that problem. Okay. And if you're going to make a mistake, try to make sure that it makes you money and doesn't cost you. Just a suggestion. +1, I think. Split. Double. That's a mess, isn't it? Oh, bloody hell. You really rubbed it in there, didn't you, mate? So that's 3-4. Oh! 7-8. Bugger. 9-7 always catch you 8, and 7-8's catching this. 15-8 drop to 3. 18-8. 15-8. So we're going to call that 3-2 in 500s. And now 1-2. Oh boy. It's interesting. I was recommended a basic strategy training program, which is really quite interesting because what it does is it just scores you the number of consecutive correct answers you give. It just throws hands at you, and then you make a decision, and it tells you whether you got it right or not, and then it just keeps climbing, and it's kind of fun. But there's a couple of things about it that I don't like. I mean, I believe in doubling down all 11s, just like Jason Balky and most other of the professional losers on YouTube. Any 11, even against an ace, should be doubled down. And they say don't double down against an ace, and I don't understand that, because you know that there isn't a 10 under because the dealer has peaked. If it was one of those situations where the dealer doesn't look, which is the European blackjack way. The fact the dealer doesn't even get their second card until you've done your dash, then that would be different. But as long as, and maybe that's what it's about. Maybe it's a British. No, it can't, because it shows the second card. Oh, I don't know. I'm rambling now, but it's kind of interesting. But no, there's a couple of things. It doesn't recommend doubling down 8 against anything, and I double down 8s against 5 and 6. But mostly it's really interesting. What happened there? Did I win? I guess I must have done. Oops, sorry. See, I want one of those sims like that brilliant Baccarat thing, where it shows me everything. When I'm rich, I'm going to commission somebody to make one of those things. 1-2. Oh, yes. But like I was saying before, when I criticize these people, I'm not expressing an opinion, I'm stating facts. I honestly believe that. Because there's a very limited number of ways to approach these games. If you bet flat or randomly against any casino table game, then you're doomed. There's just no doubt about it. Bloody hell, that was clever. All right. So the only alternative is progressive betting, but progressive betting willy-nilly, like these stupid martingales that Vegas Matt and others demonstrate every so often, making disparaging remarks about progressive betting. I mean, they really are clowns, those people. They're stooges. It's pathetic. Ooh. I'm going to call that 2-3. I'm offended by that. That's a double. Oh, shouldn't have been. So that's going to be 8-10. Might be. Yep. All right. Back to the min. That was a save right there, actually. That was rotten. Yeah, you know, there's just not a lot of wiggle room if you want to win. So you have to have a strategy which is consistent, and it's got to be backed with lots of loot, as I'm always saying. And oh, 5-6. Close. I was lucky. But lucky's good. And it's interesting trying to apply, mathematics, the laws of large numbers and all the rest to these games is very difficult because there's just so much that happens that's not in any way predictable, has nothing to do with the numbers. The numbers only tell you over time, the way the game is set up, over time you're going to lose, so many more bets than you win. And it's going to be somewhere in the region of 1% difference because it's a coin toss. And the idiots out there who say, well, if these games could be beaten, they wouldn't offer them. Well, it's just so illogical and so unintelligent that it's stuck with me only because I should be used to it because I've been hearing it for 30 years. But my friend in California told me about, oh yeah, he was down at his local casino and so said this. I said, but that is just so bloody mindless. It just doesn't make any sense. Oh, and the same guy said that I was quite clearly manipulating data, to make it appear that my strategy works. And I thought, what a bloody wanker, I mean, why would I do that? Why would anybody do that? Uh-oh, that's 3-4, I think. Approaching long grass. Oh, that sorted that, didn't it? All right. +1. Very nice. 51. 2-3. Oh, I like those. I think that's 1-2 again, isn't it? Rather sounds that way. 3-4. Damn it. 7-8. Oh, nicely. I love to beat them by 1. That's fun. Double for the loss. Oh, 1-2. I think on the whole this has been pretty friendly, but I'm not sure. That's good. I don't know until I get to Excel and track it all. It's sort of like it's frustrating, but that's how it goes. Oh, okay. 1-2. That was well deserved. +1. Double for the push. Double down. That was nice. Uh, that's another plus, I think. Oh, oh dear. We'll chase that one. All right, so now we're on 3-4. I think we're going to roll it. Yeah, this is going to be the last one, so we'll roll over after this, I think. 3-4, unless, of course, we win it. That's a double, isn't it? Yes! Moolah in the bank. Lovely. Okay, so I think, I mean, all I can say is that, I'm not stating an opinion. I'm not trying to be pushy or anything like that. I'm simply telling you that anybody who understands the game of blackjack, anybody who has played it for a living, anybody who pays attention to the challenges that exist in this game and in baccarat, and well, that's the only two table games that I'm really interested in. I kind of like craps because I like the atmosphere at a craps table, but I don't like standing for that long. So it's although I usually stand when I'm playing blackjack, it's one of those funny things. But I don't get so tired. I've got something to lean on. Oh, I don't know, whatever. Um, anyway, if you play the way that the pro losers do, you're going to lose your shirt, and Google won't come along with a new shirt for you, but they'll get one. So just always keep that in mind. Okay. Anyway, next time. Okay, so sorry, a little mic problem there. Yeah, looking at the recent Wiz sessions that I've succeeded at playing in real time, in which obviously the algorithm playing in robot time, like sort of a flash, as soon as I load in the outcomes. It seems to have fallen into a bit of a rut. I mean, it's been way too friendly. Lots of threats, mind you, and what you have to understand, when you're considering my contention that you must have a big bankroll to beat these games, is just look at these slumps here. I mean, okay, the end product is to go from up a little bit, just a weeny teeny bit. But these are the bits that wipe out people with little teeny weeny tin pot bloody shitty chicken shit shoestring bankrolls. And you've got to be armed. You've got to be prepared. You've got to be qualified to beat these games because the house sure is. I mean, you're going to get your ass kicked if you don't go to war with the right weaponry. That's all I'm ever saying in these things. And believe me, there's nothing outrageously new about any of the stuff that I'm saying here, but it is outrageously ignored. And I know that from all the years that I spent in Nevada. I mean, everything that I'm telling you is common sense, mathematics, truth, logic, and it's all known to the casinos and has been forever. And this is why the casinos corral us or try to corral us into narrow betting spreads and misinformation about exactly what we're up against. And I'm not claiming to be the greatest at anything. I'm not certainly not claiming to be a genius. I just happen to have cottoned on to the way to win at blackjack more than 50 years ago, basically when I was still a schoolboy, and we used to play a game called Pontoon, which is exactly the same thing, you know, with some variations. I mean, no daft side bets that pay 1,000 to 1, no extra hands. The way it used to work for us is that when you get a natural, you pass the cards to the guy on your left because the banker tends to win more than the players, and so you become the banker when you get a natural. But of course, in our situation, we were playing for pocket money, pennies, halfpennies, farthings, because I'm pretty old. I don't feel it, but I am. And so you wouldn't take the bank if you didn't have enough money to pay out, because that's obviously common sense. So that's the way we did it, and there'd be a little group of three, four, five, sometimes much more. You couldn't have too many more because we played with a single deck, but it was fun. It was great fun, and it's like the other big game in England when I was a kid, well, teenager actually, was brag, which another Englishman ripped off and sold to American casinos as three-card poker. It's brag, and in that game, same deal. You need three of a kind to kick ass, and it has to be three threes. Three threes beats three aces because it's three-card brag. And then there are variations on brag. They're games that I love, and I had a wonderful time. I was on a movie location many years ago in Mexico, in Veracruz, in Mexico. Michael Douglas and Catherine Turner and Danny DeVito and so on. And I ended up spending a lot of time with the crew in their big trailer, teaching them how to play the variations of brag. And that really caught on. It became quite, because they used to play poker and things like that. And they decided that brag was faster and more fun and basically more dangerous. But it was good. But anyway, I'm digressing as I usually do, and I do apologize. And if you don't like it, then bugger off. That's all I can say. But anyway, let's have a look at this result here. Slight house edge, 2.9%, which with my various sort of like quirky little things that I do from time to time, make a bloody silly mistake. I try not to allow mistakes to cost me money. Can't be having that. So I turned a 3% house edge to over 30% player edge. And you have to always look at your total action, look at your total win, and ask yourself, well, look, if it's a tiny percentage of the action, then it's not worth having. And the casinos feel exactly the same way. So these are things that you need to take into account. Oh, sorry, suddenly lost my voice there. It's not really coming back very well, and I'm sure that some of you will applaud that. But anyway, I'll try and cut this as short as I can. You've got to look at your percentage, the percentage of your action that you're actually sticking in your back pocket, your wallet, or whatever. And that's the way the casinos do things, and that's obviously the right way to do things. You've got to approach these games in a business-like way, so that doing all the stupid sort of recreational kind of thrill things like getting shit-faced and sort of playing all night and then and getting up in the morning with hardly any sleep and starting over, all of that kind of nonsense is punters shooting themselves in the foot and the head. It's just absolutely dumb. You have to have a cool head, you have to be sober, you have to be smart, you have to have tons of money behind you, you've got to know what you're doing, you've got to recognize that prediction is simply not possible in any of these games, so that people who go in for this sort of thing like, well, I've just lost four in a row, I can't possibly lose five. Bullshit. What we do with pattern betting, as its name suggests, is we simply ride patterns. We're looking for patterns. We are defending ourselves against prolonged mean streaks, losing streaks if you prefer, and we are exploiting as fast as we can, as soon as we get the sense that possibly, and it's always only possibly, this win is the first of two or three more, or one or two more, then you go for it. And that's how it's done. You can't do what the professional losers on YouTube do all the time, which is to let winning streaks slide by like they're just. I watch these guys. I think the worst currently that I'm watching is DGen Dolt, and I love the team. I like the bunch of guys and all the peripheral people and so on, other than the casino hosts, who I'm always extremely suspicious of. But that's just me. But you can't let these winning streaks ride by. You must thump them. And DD doesn't get that, and most of them don't. And I've stopped watching Sirasani, as I've said many times before. John Sirasani, the greatest blackjack player who ever picked up a chip. Because it's just awful to see the mess that he makes of blackjack every session. And he has that right. He can do what he wants with his money, but he's setting himself up by saying, "Excuse me, sorry." He's setting himself up for a fall by making stupid claims like that. Let's see. I was looking for a major run here. Well, this one was sort of obviously quickly exploited. Boom, boom, as you can see. This one was at the start of a new sequence, a new series, so that was not much use. But others along the way, you'll see is turnarounds that come on one win very often. No, I don't need two or three, just one's enough sometimes. But in the end, here we are. We've got and it says 3.1% over here, only because it's a little bit more sort of more generous than the real number, which is over here, plus 61.5 minus 58, and so that comes out at 2.9% for the player. The gross actual value is a loss of a house edge of 1.9%, but then that's offset by naturals and splits and so on. So that's how that works. Let's have a look. Going back to well, it's all here really, isn't it? I mean, the most important thing to think about is average win 299, average loss 155, average win over average loss 194%. And that's what you got to do. The whole imperative, the impetus, the engine, win more when you win than you lose when you lose. And I know people struggle with that, and they're just going to have to get over it if they actually want to get anywhere with these games. Truth being, of course, most gamblers don't want to win. They expect to lose. It's some kind of self-flagellation thing that they do that they have a lovely time with, and I have no idea what that's about. Damn, I'm having trouble with my throat today, so I'm going to be winding this up fairly quickly, I think. Here is the algorithm, which never gets touched, never gets changed, never gets altered. Same here, same outcomes, obviously. Slightly less exciting performance, but that's because Algae doesn't make any stupid mistakes. So that's how that goes. Again, average win 243, average loss 127, average win over average loss, blah, 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 192%. That's pretty bloody good. Indicated 2.9% of 28,400 is a win of 832. Whoops, Algae won 5,800. Go back down here and indicated win on this action, which was slightly less, 700, and we won 7,000, or I won 7,000. That was me. No Algae at all. But the most important thing that I want to stress here again is I have no control over what comes out of this sim, in spite of what the idiots say. And they have a right to be idiots if they want to. I'm sure it's in the Constitution. It's probably on page 2 or something like that. Just if you don't believe that this sim works, is relatable and relevant and anything like the real thing, try it, for goodness sake. Don't keep knocking it. Get your bloody feet under the table and sit down and play it. But don't send me any screenshots showing you winning 100,000 or something like that. Whole shoes is what matters. There are idiots out there who would quite happily say, "Okay, I'm going to bet 100,000 until I win 5 in a row, and then I'm going to send him a screenshot of me winning 500,000." Well, it doesn't mean anything if it was, sort of like a sudden burst, a sudden run. You've got to be working at it. This is work. It's not fun and games. You can have fun doing it because I'm telling you, winning is more fun than losing, but it is not relaxation. It's not thrills. It's not excitement. What it is making money, profit, profit, profit. Why did it do that? I didn't even touch it. and it suddenly decides to give me an argument. Jeez. All right, let's go and have a look at double or drop. Oh shit, that happens every so often. All right, let's try again. There it is. Double or drop is still just ploughing on. You know, it's running at 51% of pattern betting's total action to date and 57% of its win. So that's why you're seeing 10.8 here and 12.2 there. And you know, this claim that the casinos make all the time, and the Vegas mats, they're parrots, they're pets. People like Vegas Matt and Co. They keep saying, "Oh, this is progressive betting." That doesn't work. Terrible to hear somebody like WBG saying the same thing because he knows better. And I think the other smart guy in the group, what the hell is his name? W2. Don't know why they use these silly names, but hey, whatever. It's their world, their channel. They can do what they want. I don't use my name at all. So there. You know, I mean, Seth Betts has been around forever. Seth Theobald, and anybody with half a brain can figure out that Seth Theobald is an anagram. Doesn't take long to figure it out. But anyway, I am Seth, and I am telling you the truth. And if you don't like it, well, got to lump it, I'm afraid. Just go back to playing the way you do and losing money. Back to where am I going now? Online latest, and then to algae latest. And this is where the truth lies. And it's not always going to be this easy, relatively easy. But what you are trying to achieve all the time, made easier when the actual value looks like this, is a tracker that looks this way. You got to do that if you want to make any money. So I'll see you next time.